Right now, we're going to welcome in our next live guest. We've got Ellen Voya joining us, who is, of course, the head of the Women in Trucking Association, to give us a little bit of an update about what's going on in the near future. Ellen, thanks for joining us. We are excited to have you.
Got so much going on this year. It's just crazy, but a lot of things coming up in March.
And Ellen, let's jump straight into it. So what are going to be some of the big things that we're looking for in the upcoming month here?
So we all know that Louisville, Kentucky is the home of the Mid-America Trucking Show, the largest trucking show in North America. And so we always hold our salute to women behind the wheel at that event where we honor female professional drivers. And this year we've got something special. We're giving away a truck donated by Aero Truck Sales. And so the date is March 31st. And it's in the South Wing, which is up in the second floor. So you just go up the escalator. And we'll have chocolate fountains, we'll have speakers, we'll have lots of fun events. We give everyone a red shirt. We always take a big photo of the whole group. And it's just really to honor our female professional drivers. And we'll have our big cake as well, the cake in the shape of a truck. So it'll be lots of food, fun, and just a great way to get together again once a year.
I love that. And seeing the photo from Matt's is one of my favorite things to come out of the truck shows, really for the entire year. When you're talking a little bit about this celebration for the female drivers, how many female drivers do we typically see participating in this? And what type of proportion does that represent from our overall driver industry?
Well, there's about 180 to 200,000 female professional drivers. And the reason we hold this at the Mid-American Trucking Show is because they're already there. Not all of them, of course, but and we've switched it to Friday because we used to hold it on Saturday, but then it coincided with the Truck Beauty Contest Awards, so we would lose some of them. So it'll be Friday this time. We'll see. But we usually get a couple hundred. Our very first year, we were trying to break the world's record set in the Netherlands, I believe it was 417. They had 417 female drivers in one place, and we've never broken that record. I'd love to do it. So everybody come. It doesn't cost you a dime. You just stop at our booth in the atrium, sign up. We'll give you a T-shirt, and you can come, and we have lots of prizes and giveaways, and it's just a lot of fun.
It sounds like it's going to be a blast. And Ellen, what other events are we looking at this year? And also, I hear there's a really big award that will be put out at some point as well.
That's right. I didn't even mention that. We announced our Driver of the Year at the Salute to Women Behind the Wheel. And we're still in the judging process. So we have not come up with the finalists for that yet. But we will announce our Driver of the Year, along with giving away the Aero truck. That'll be so much fun. I keep saying I get to hand the keys to someone, but it's keyless entry. So I'm not even handing the keys to someone who wins the truck because it'll be on their phone. But Our Driver of the Year, sponsored by Walmart, will be announced at the event as well. And then we have one other event, our Distinguished Woman in Logistics, and that is still open until February 20th if someone wants to nominate someone. And the winner will be announced at the TIA, the Transportation Intermediaries Association event. They call it their Capital Ideas Conference on April 21st in Orlando, Florida. So we have lots of recognition programs so that we can tell their stories and highlight them and honor them. So that will be announced, Distinguished Woman in Logistics at TIA in April, but the Driver of the Year will be announced March 31st in Louisville.
And I love the Distinguished Women in Logistics Award as well, because I think that it gets out of that driver-centric idea, which of course is so valuable, but breaks into the other aspects of supply chain and women who are making incredible contributions. Can you touch a little bit on last year's winner for us? I was at the TIA conference when it was announced, and I was super thrilled. I know the women in the room were also thrilled, but touch a little bit on last year's winner.
So Nicole Glenn of Candor Expedite, and she spoke at our conference. So if you were at the conference, you heard her speak, but just an amazing woman who she is the CEO, the founder of Candor Expedite, and they're a growing logistics organization. And Kaylee, I'm glad that you mentioned that this is a good way to recognize that women in trucking isn't just women in trucks. We're women in the industry, and logistics is such a big part of supply chain. So acknowledging that a Distinguished Woman in Logistics is part of Women in Trucking also helps us make people aware that, again, we're not just about drivers, we're about all women in the industry. In fact, Kaylee, you're a woman in trucking.
I definitely agree with that statement. And I love that you make that announcement at the TIA conference, because I think there is still this idea that a brokerage floor is run by men, and that brokerage, which is of course TIA's main group, is very centered on this kind of like salesy, like it's still kind of a little stereotypical, right? And so I love that we have this little piece. I was at the TIA conference last year, as I mentioned, and got to hang out not only with Nicole after her award win, but also during the Women in 3PL's, the networking lunch that was there. So super valuable for people who want to come and make sure that they're getting the value out of both your show at MATS and now the presence at TIA. What does that look like? What would you recommend them doing to get the most value out of coming to these types of shows?
Well, first of all, I'd say go to the website and find out what activities and what time everything will happen. So like our event at the Salute to Women Behind the Wheel will be, I think it starts at 4:00. 4:30 to 6, but we'll open the doors at 3:30. So I would say come, but look at the website in advance, just see what will be happening and when and what time, and then plan your day around that. And the same for the TIA. And by the way, it's sponsored by Truck Stop. The very first Distinguished Woman in Logistics, Christy Nickel from Nickel Logistics, is on the board of TIA. So it is changing. Logistics are becoming more of, there's more and more women in that area as well.
And Alan, right now we're talking about events, but you are busy with webinars as well, and that's another great resource. Can you talk about some of the upcoming webinars you're hosting?
Oh boy, that's an area that I don't manage, so I can't really tell you. I know we just had one. Well, we just had one on mentoring, and that was very valuable and very well received. But my team does that one, but we have one every month. So I would just say, check our website. And if you're a member, you can look at past webinars as well.
Absolutely. And then to wrap it all up, Ellen, we know that we touched a little bit the last time you were on about the career transition and the incredible person who is coming in to take your role in leadership of women in trucking. How are you feeling moving in now to what'll be the last Mid-America Trucking Show, your last Salute to Women Behind the Wheel leading it? How are you feeling? A little nostalgic, a little sad?
I'm going to miss everybody, but I'm not going away. I'll still be the founder. And the transition actually happens at our annual meeting, March 16th. And that's when Jennifer Hedrick will become the CEO. So I'm still the CEO until March 16th. But then I'm staying until July 1st on the payroll as founder. So I'll still be with Women in Trucking. And then even after, I'll still be doing some speaking and, I'll still be getting out there. So the transition will be kind of in pieces over the long period of time.
It's great to hear that you'll still be very much active in the industry, because we definitely need you around. And when you're looking at, of course, some of the big events, I want to get too ahead of myself. We also have Accelerate coming up at the very end of the year, towards the end of the year. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, actually. And last year we had 1,750 registered attendees. So we're prepared to have up to 3,000, and the facility can hold it. And I asked, everyone keeps saying, well, what are we going to do to honor Ellen for starting Women in Trucking? And I said, you know what? I want a retirement party at Accelerate. I want to party and have fun and just celebrate with all of my friends and attendees. And so I think that's in the works. That's what I asked for. So I'll know more, because I said, don't keep it a secret. You can't keep secrets around here. But I plan on having a big retirement party at the Accelerate conference in November. And I hope everyone comes, because it's going to be bigger and better than any other conference we've ever had.
Definitely looking forward to that conference, and also looking forward to potentially running into you. I think we'll both be in New Orleans in a few days here at the upcoming conference for the CLDA.
Actually, you're right. I have a 5:30 flight tomorrow morning to get to New Orleans. I hate those early flights, but I will be down in New Orleans, so I'll say hey.
Awesome. Looking forward to catching up with you there, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you both for having me, and you guys have a wonderful week.
You as well.